questions to ask throughout a campaign with the confidence rising. I told JC, Nate and Rich that good times are coming, no need for deep diving. Fan Cam's reactions, watch along to the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South stay flying, keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.
Funeral settings. Absolutely.
Hence why we're both dressed in black.
This is it. It's a funeral for my Wi-Fi. It's a funeral for the result.
A funeral for Natty Klein's ankle, because I'm pretty sure it's done out here.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
Just not been our day, unfortunately. It started off really well with the 18s winning against Chelsea, 21s beating West Ham, but a moment of magic from a player we just knew was going to score.
Had to be him.
Had to be him. Just had to be him, didn't it? But listen, take nothing away from him. That goal should win you any game of football, so we're not going to remotely throw shade at him. But Thiago Silva, count your lucky stars, my son. Odsonne Edouard, you're also lucky you weren't sent off. So the referee probably does have a fair bit of leeway where he could have sent off Edouard and should have sent off Silva. So as much as people want to hammer the ref, let's not try and look at one side of the coin and not the other. That being said, yeah, we were poor. I don't think there's any other way to describe it, but we failed to see the game out. Chelsea took full advantage of it. I know that Hanif here has just said thanks for the win, but you could or should have got at least a draw. Problem with that, Hanif, is if we fail to see the game out, we don't deserve anything. And lo and behold, we failed to see the game out. Don't get me wrong. I'm still not happy with that refereeing decision. I think Silva should have been sent off. But having said that, it's one of those where if it goes for you, you probably are screaming to the hilltops that it should have been a red card. And if you're not for it, you're thinking, nah, that's a yellow card. But look, what can we do, huh? Sometimes money buys you everything, and sometimes you just can't get no luck. But there's three things, people, that's guaranteed in life. Death, taxes, and Crystal Palace not closing out games. So, look, it is what it is. Rich, let's get this over and done with, because I don't want to put us through any more pain as it is, man.
But add four things. One of our Wi-Fi moving mad. To be fair, Hanif, if you are free, feel free to jump in and give a Chelsea perspective.
No, 100%.
Look, Chelsea started off very bright, to be fair. First 4 or 5 minutes, I was like, geez, they're knocking around this ball really well and stuff. Mason was making like numerous runs in behind Ward, but I don't think they were ever picking him up, which was kind of like obviously beneficial for us, but like you can sense he was getting frustrated. And then we had our first attack. Eddie, big eye, Eddie was superb, by the way. You know, he was superb. And Eve, I'll WhatsApp it to you.
No, it's cool. I've got it here.
All right, cool. Eddie, who I think was my personal man of the match, took the ball down, turned, and started to drive. You know, knocks it out to Ayew. And normally, Ayew does a few twinkle toes movements and then passes it backwards. But boy, what a cross he put in for Eddie. An absolute peach of a ball. And that was a great finish. We were like, roll up, nil up. And stuff. I think that it was a quality finish. And I think it helped because, like I said, first 5 minutes, we were all over the place. Like Chelsea were just like, it was just constant. Like, not that they were creating anything clear cut, but what do you call it? They were definitely in possession and stuff. And I felt like having that goal it settled our nerves and such.
Looks like we got boys. How do it?
Oh, there's someone's that's got worse connection than me. That's saying something.
Can you hear me?
My washing machine.
You are sounding proper Doctor Who Dalek-ish, boy.
He's in the TARDIS, bro.
You know what makes matters worse? His logo's on its side as well.
Oh, he's having a mare.
Oh, what can I say, man? These are Thomas Tuchel settings still. What can I say?
Nah, brother, that's not even Thomas Tuchel. That's Sam Allardyce settings right there, all over the shop.
Listen, it's been moving mad for like the longest. Like I actually need to change. And such. You know what?
Media for you.
How did you see the game, Hanif?
I've only seen clips because I was reffing in my own game, but what did you see the game? I think ultimately, we were pushing. I think we were pushing Palace ultimately, but I didn't see us doing anything special. I thought Mason Mount should have scored. I thought he had a great opportunity. But
Hanif, 1 second. Have you got a second device on? That echo was mad, and it was like 10 seconds late. Oh, and he's gone. Mate, how was the start for you? How was the start of the game?
I mean, look, if you'd have said to me that we play relatively well, like obviously we are playing Chelsea, they're a quality side. I know that you looked at their team sheet and thought, okay, Mendy's not there, Kante is not there. There's a couple of players that we would really hope weren't playing, but they're still a quality outfit. So to start to get the first goal of the game, and as the game progressed, you know, you kind of were thinking, well, if we can get a second goal or we can keep Chelsea out until half-time, we might be able to starve the game out a little bit. Then we got to go into the moment of controversy with Thiago Silva. We'll touch on that in a second. But, oh, my God. I won't lie. I thought we played relatively well. But at the same time, Chelsea's quality just shone through in the end, and there was nothing we could do about it. Obviously, it just kind of brought home just how light we are in the squad. And although we felt we had a decent window, we actually had a very poor window, in my opinion. Because you're looking at the lack of options we have at fullback, at centre-back. I saw that. I didn't want to say anything. Even in midfield, like Decore goes off, Will Hughes comes on, and you're thinking, how is Gyro not getting the game? You know, what is the point of having Gyro Riedewald here if he's not being picked to get on the pitch? Because we know he can do a job as a defensive midfielder. But having said that, look, I'm peed off that we failed to close the game out. I won't lie, I think Thiago Silva's a very lucky boy to have even remotely been able to stay on the pitch. But having said that, I will say this. If that's a Crystal Palace player, that's a red card. And I'll leave it at that. I don't want to go too far in and start ranting and losing the head and all that sort of thing. But look, I thought we played okay, not great. I've seen us play better, actually. I think we played better in the Arsenal game and lost. So it's one of those where you don't want to take too much in a defeat like this because we are playing against the quality opposition. But having said that, we needed to be clinical, and we weren't. So the blame lies with us. There's no point in blaming referees or blaming Chelsea or this or that or blaming the side, the length of the grass. We failed to take the chances we had. Kepa had minimal 2-3 saves to make that were important saves. Other than that, we shot straight at him. So we can't really blame anybody but ourselves on that one. But look, it's a sucker punch to the gut. It just had to be, him. But look, when you give him the freedom of the pitch to do that, and we know he can do this because he did it for us last season, why are people shocked? And then you got people actually clapping him after the game when he's just scored the winner against us. Like, what? I don't understand that. He doesn't play for us anymore. I understand people got a bit, the memories and all of that. But he scored the winner, people. If it was an equalizer, I'd be, all right, cool, hell of an equalizer, salvage a point last minute. That swiped the 2 points back to Chelsea. It's like, I don't want to scream. I don't want to shout. I'm going to try and keep my mouth closed, pause. But it's a bitter pill to swallow. That's all I want to say. Because if I keep going, I ain't going to shut up. We'll give Hanif a chance to have a chat. Hanif, Give us the Chelsea perspective, mate.
Bro, I'll take the W, but it's been these W's have been very rare, you know, especially in London. You guys know this.
Oh, how terrible
I
how terrible having all this money and you can't win a game.
Mate, listen, we've been struggling, you know that. I think Rich cursed you guys, man. I'm telling you, because you know the preview, he was saying things about Gallagher. I thought, you know what, let's just wait, let's see what happens in the game, and then I'll get Rich. Then when I saw the goal, I was like, bloody hell. And I think that's
how did I curse it? I said to OTC, I
I
said Tuchel's not playing him in the right position, and he came on in the 10th
Yeah.
position.
I felt like you were, you know, just not giving, you know, just looking down on him a little bit. And even I did say that, you know, he shouldn't be at Chelsea because he's not getting game time. But ultimately, look, the goal was amazing. I thought Ober's goal was fantastic, even though I think your centre back is at fault. You let a guy like that turn, you cannot expect him at least getting a shot on the on target. And I don't know which centre back it was, but he let him turn, and you just don't allow a striker of his caliber. I know he might not be at the best, but he's still a decent enough striker to put it away. We had opportunities to score goals, but ultimately, when I saw it 1-1, that's when I started watching the game, and I felt like it was just going to end 1-1. I thought Palace might see it through, but I think this has happened quite a lot to Palace over the past season, where Palace haven't seen games out. You're either going to win, and then when you're level, you're just there. You just kind of like, I wouldn't say give up, but you just don't make the right decisions. And I just think with experience and time, I think that'll get better. But yeah, listen, look, it wasn't an easy game by any stretch of the imagination, but you know, it's a tough 3 points at Palace, and we'll take it and we move on.
It helps when the referee does you a favour because Silva should have been sent off.
I think ultimately I understand where you're coming from, Nate, but initially when he fell down, I thought you can't give a yellow for that because he's fallen the ball. After his reaction to it, then yes, I agree with that, because he reacted because Silva was looking for a foul. But his reaction to what he did after, then I can see where you're coming from with that. But initially when he fell on the ball. What's he supposed to do with his arms? That's not handball, in my opinion. But when he reacted the way he did, I thought, bloody hell, you got lucky there. He did. I think he was very fortunate. You have to remember what these Premier League referees do is they try and keep these players on the pitch for as long as they can. Even though we might disagree with it as spectators. That's it. It's true. It's true. Rich, I'm sure one day you'll become a big six side. But yeah, we were fortunate. I'm not going to deny it.
Well, you know what? If we get rid of Harrison Blitzer, we're halfway there, because they're just 2 leeches off the club. I don't think they're doing anything for us, so we'll get there. But to answer, because Realist is asking, is that Siroc? No, it's not Siroc. It's Cinch. But to be honest, we must have been drinking Siroc the way we were defending in that last 10, 15 minutes. JC, sorry. We only just seen that you jumped in there. How you feeling?
Yeah, all good. Just messing around with all the fan cams and stuff. They're all coming out slowly. I think Daniel's one is out now, and I think the Henry's one will be out at past. But I don't know. I feel like that taking a bit of time away, I think we're all overreacting a little bit, because I don't think any of us came into this match thinking we're going to beat Chelsea in the first place. But I think the manner is what we're all upset about.
Yeah, that's 100%. Look, Chelsea were going to beat us. There was no doubt of that. But it's the way in which they beat us that's annoyed us.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about that at all. I think that I don't know if you guys have already touched it on it, but there were many questionable decisions, but I think we can all label that as big team bias.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I think that Silva should have been sent off. He was the last man, and the explanation was he wasn't running straight towards the goal. But newsflash, if there's no one in front of you, you're running towards the goal. So it is what it is. He's the last man, and VAR doesn't want to intervene and actually send someone off because they don't want to take that kind of responsibility. They're scared. They don't want to change the on-field decision on that one. But it's just unfortunate that against Chelsea, we seem to just pick up big injuries, because I remember a couple of years ago, Dan broke his leg at Stamford Bridge, and then look what happened to Kleiny today. I think in that match against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, I think we lost Dan and Sacco in the same match. So
I think we lost Dan at Man City at home. I know what you're referring to, JC. I think
he
Dan
got stretchered off at Stamford Bridge, because I remember because I was there. But I don't know what it is against but Chelsea. They're sort of like the big six version of Stoke, where they just want to stop you from playing and just injure you and then frustrate you and then just win games that way by getting a little bit of a share of that big team bias. Can we get a share of that? Like, if we pay 20 million to the Premier League, then we could get the referee on our side for the whole season. I'm sure it's worth it.
JC, listen, we even put down the deposit on the main stand. We're miles off getting that.
Can I ask a question? Who was Stockley Park? Who was VAR? Was it Dido?
I think
no, enough. It was fucking Clattenburg.
I have no idea, but
because obviously, I understand your frustrations with the VAR, because obviously earlier on in the season when we played, I think it was Tottenham, when Cucurella's hair got pulled and VAR missed it. It was Mike Dean, and I was just like, you know what, you're taking the mick. And listen, look, at the end of the day, I think decisions go for you and against you, and over the course of the season, they even themselves out. But yes, it was a massive decision. It could have and probably should have been red. But ultimately, I think you look at that scenario now. So if a defender's in a particular position and he's last man, the Premier League are telling us, or the officials are telling us, that actually these are yellow cards. And this is where, when I look at the rules, and I'm telling you, when we look at the rules on our grassroots, I'm just like, bloody hell, what's red now? What's going on here? Like, and because we watch these guys week in, week out, and what they'll do is they'll have these conversations. And I'm telling you, I think the Premier League they've got pre-scripted explanations for most of them. These world refs are all frauds in that. You know what, Tariq? Tariq, you know what? I'll come back to you, lad. Don't you?
I don't know. I think it's all just a grey area, because in my opinion, I don't think Emerson Royale should have been sent off. In my opinion, I thought that was a yellow.
I thought that was red, mate. I thought that was dangerous.
Yeah, the VAR for this game was Stuart Atwell.
All right, okay. I thought it was Mike Dean. Right, fair enough. It's just ultimately, when you look at the wording in the rules, and then you look at what happened on the field of play, we have to ask ourselves the question, like, you have to have independent officials. It's the same guys making the same mistakes. Have somebody, it doesn't matter which referee, have independent refs. I've always said it on the VAR panel, because I just think these guys are making too many mistakes, even when they're watching the game. I don't know how you can go about it, but I think Edouard was lucky as well. And I think if you look at it from my perspective, I think, you know what, there should have been probably 2 reds, but yeah, it is what it is, man. They go for you and they go against you.
I know 100%. Edouard probably was lucky to not be sent off. So I'm not remotely saying that because we got away with it as well, to be fair. But obviously, you look at the silver one and you're thinking, well, wait a minute, hold on. If that's a Crystal Palace player, they're sent off. There's no remote sense of it being a yellow card. It's a straight red. So, but look, it is what it is. Look, we've lost. Chelsea got the points. That's all that matters. It's not how you win. It's that you win. I mean, it's going to turn for us at some point, because we've had Diego Jota win a penalty when he's collided into our goalkeeper. Classic vibes. But look, Hanif, as much as we're not happy about it, we have seen worse decisions go against us in the past. So hopefully we get revenge at Stamford Bridge. Last minute winner of Silver's head into the top corner in front of the Chelsea fans for Palace. Own goal, John Terry settings. That'd be a decent compensation. But now look, it's annoying. Conor Gallagher just had to do it, but fair play to him. It was a hell of a goal. No hate on Gallagher. But Steve Parrish twerking for him all summer, that's bitten us in the backside because we really could have done with signing other targets. That would have helped today because the lack of depth on our bench.
Oh,
Wow.
it's bad.
Wow.
We are light. We are very light, and it's concerning.
I
It
think
says
it's
a lot
more.
that John Kamani Gordon was on the bench. Do you know that?
No, I think it's more concerning that with three defenders injured now, we literally only have 4 defenders. If one of our current back 4 gets injured, we are screwed.
Yeah, but you must remember. You must remember, apparently, to some of the boffins on Palace Twitter, we had a good window. And I remember saying, we kind of need more here. And JC, you were hammering that the whole time you did the transfer shows. But obviously, what do we know? I mean, we were looking at it and going, we've no left back. If we lose Mitchell, both of our right backs are fairly in their 30s. So they're not going to be around much longer.
This is why I was so against Chris Richards, because this guy goes to America and bang, 4-month injury. What does he do?
Is it 4 months?
Yeah. What did he do? I don't know. 10 million, and he hasn't even made a Premier League appearance yet. Like,
Didn't he come on against Arsenal?
Mate, that don't count. That's just like 10 minutes, just to waste time. But like seriously, he hasn't. Like the only thing he's done is play Oxford. Yeah. Mate, it's this is why I was hammering home. Wait, Colwill is the better option out of the 2, because this guy had a whole season in the Championship with no injuries. But it is what it is, man. Listen, 10 million from Maguire, I would take that. I would take that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm not having our clubs part with £10 million. Not for Harry Maguire. No way in hell.
We've already only got 4 defenders. We don't want to make it 3.
I'd put Darren Powell and Paddy McCarthy out of retirement before we bring Harry Maguire to the football club. Put it that way.
I think Vibe said he'll give you 10 million. He said, "I'll give you 10 million."
It's not enough money.
Yeah, I was even joking about it in my fan cam that, mate, we might if stuff gets really bad, we're gonna have to go into the free agent market, or we're gonna have to pull Jake O'Brien back. Like, it's gonna be on ropes if we get another injury. But
I think there's a lot of centre backs. I think if it's possible, if you can make any Premier League loan signings, I think someone like Victor Lindelof or someone along those lines could play for Palace. He's a good enough player. He just doesn't get the credit at United, and he's not getting no game time.
I think we're looking more at fullback, because I think when Anderson comes back, I think things will look a little bit nicer. But I think we need a definite backup centre back, and probably, mate, I've been saying this for how long? We need a backup left back. We need another right back.
We need 2 right backs in it, if anything, because Ward and Klein are out of contract at the end of the season.
Yeah,
and I think I don't know what Klein's actual injury is, but his ankle didn't look too good on his landing. I thought Vieira was funny though, wasn't he? He said he pulled a Jose, didn't he? He said, "If I speak, I'm in big trouble."
In big trouble.
Well, you know, I guarantee you he gave the referee an earful, because the amount of yellow cards the referee was showing today, I was like, well, mate, like, what do you expect? You're clearly not. It's like, yo, did Mark Clattenburg come out of retirement again? Just so irritating. But really, it's the same. Phil Jones is free. Just saying. You know what? I don't know about that.
He said that we've got 2 injuries and he gives an injury-prone defender.
I know.
Oh, what days.
Where's Aaron Wan-Bissaka? Is he still at United?
Man United. He's at Man United. And they will not. United will try and get money back for him as much as possible. Yeah. If we pay over 15 mil for him, that's just crazy. Because the fact we got 45 for 5 is crazy.
I think you get him for 5. I think United just want to get him off the wages.
Well, I don't think United, but United will try to save face and not lose too much money. Because if we somehow manage to pull it off, that'll be the second time we've done that. We did it with Zaha. They signed him for 10. We got him back for between 3 and 6 mil, I think.
This is it. Big up Phil from Daddy and the Don. This is concerning as well. I mean, not so much because our running was crazy anyway. We said that we'll take 7 points for our first however many games we took. So we got 6, so we've just underachieved. But 10 points from winning positions, it's a lot of points dropped. So
that includes
the back end of games, isn't it, Rich? I bet from like minute 70 to minute 90, it'd be interesting to see what the stats are in terms of conceding goals, because it seems as if that's where the issue really lies, because up to minute 70, you guys are fine. But we also, obviously, when you look at the decisions as well, or especially the Silva decision, because I think he was part of the build-up for, was it Ober's goal? Am I wrong?
Yeah, he won the header.
Yeah, so it's things like that. But ultimately, yeah, you got those last 20 minutes where I just think whether it's communication or I don't know what it is, but there's an issue there. And why aren't they? Fair enough, against the top clubs, it's understandable, but against the other teams that are in and around you should be able to see those games out.
Look,
We'll
it says a
find out on
lot.
the next.
It says a lot that Liverpool, Man City, Brentford, and today alone, we were in winning positions and subsequently either lost the game or drew the game. And you look at those points now and you're thinking the only game we didn't take the lead in and got a result was Villa, where we went 1-0 down.
Yeah.
So it's like, wait, so we have to go a goal down to actually fight to get back in the game. We should just give everybody a 1-0 head start then. Then we'll shoot up the table, no problem.
Yeah, I've just found it. This season alone, the amount of goal that out of the total goals that we've conceded this year, 72% of them have been after 75 minutes.
Jeez.
We've got a massive hangover from last season because we did this all of last season as well. It was near enough every single game. Brighton at home, Newcastle at home,
Arsenal away.
Arsenal away.
We can't keep a clean sheet at
Nope.
all.
We've only got one this season. That was, we were fortunate to get that with VAR at Newcastle. So that kind of shows you how. But it's just. But 72%. I remember. But remember, we were even saying we need to see substantial investment. And then a lot of people were kind of saying, "No, we're fine, we'll be okay." And I'm thinking, yeah, but realistically, we're very light. Like Malcolm Abiwe could have come on and done something today. Maybe he wouldn't have, but that's an option that we're not using. You know, we might have to start playing Caden Rodney at right back for crying out loud, and he's nowhere near ready for first team football, as we saw in the Oxford game. Oh, look at this, Matt. Then Everton comeback last season destroyed you guys big time. Listen, Charity Professional Football Club, it is what it is. Nah. But being serious, it's like we just completely switch off when it's the 70th minute. Don't matter now. 70 minutes is fine. Then whoop, done. It's like, wicked. Wow, we lost. Great. Yeah, that's perfect. You know, but Sean is saying we need at least 5 players, 1 centre back, 2 centre mids, 1 striker, and a right back.
I think we need 2 centre backs.
Well, personally,
we're going to burn out Gay and Anderson because we're going to end up being so reliant on them.
Well,
Chris Richards is not really showing
he missed out. He missed out left back as well, because if we don't get a left back, guess what? We're burning out Mitchell by Christmas again.
Yeah.
And Mitchell really has looked very jaded since he's been here. So
Mitchell looks pretty awful so far this season compared to what he was doing last season.
Yeah, but look, everybody's going to have their opinion. I mean, I remember some people were actively attacking Steve Parish today about it. It's like that's classic Palace Twitter. We lose, and Steve Parish just get absolutely filleted. It's like, yep, Palace Twitter is back. It's back. Hey, Tristan, how you doing?
I think his connection's not set. Let me remove it for now when he comes back in and such. Boy. Big up Hamza, by the way. Hope you're well. Obviously, studies and your fencing and everything. Hope it's all going well.
You need luck to go for you, though, and it did for Chelsea, so fair play to them.
We literally, there's 5 games to the World Cup, isn't it? So,
yeah,
our next 5, please correct me if I'm
Leeds,
wrong.
Leicester, Wolves,
Southampton.
Leeds, Leicester, Wolves, Everton, Southampton. And then we've
See,
got
on
West Ham
paper,
and Forest for the World Cup.
On paper,
You should win at least 3 of those games. At least.
we should be winning all of them on paper. But you don't win football games on paper.
But on grass, we look every bit like a team that doesn't know its left foot from its right foot. So I don't know whether Charity Professional Football Club's turning up or Crystal Palace Football Club's turning up. So it's like, it's one of the two. We'll have to see how we go. We saw Crystal Palace Football Club against Aston Villa and Charity Professional Football Club today and against Brentford. So it's a potluck. But look.
Tristan, can you hear us? Let me drop him a message.
We'll remember this. We'll remember this because revenge is a dish best served cold, Matt. So just be careful. That's what I'm saying.
I think we should talk about a positive today, though. How good was Edouard?
He was brilliant. He was brilliant. Hold up play, link up play. He took his goal really well. He did everything. He did everything right today, to be fair to him. I feel an issue, though, is like he ends up getting very isolated very quickly. You know, and that's just based on just how we play sometimes. It can get a bit too negative. Listen, I've got to say this right now. Reece James locked off Salah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute lock off settings. And
You struggled
fair play.
against Aye, though.
Yeah, he did. Fair play to, I don't know if it was PV, if the player decided, whoever decided to just switch them around Ayew and Zaha, because then for like a 10-minute spell, we looked so much better. You know, Reece James was brilliant. He was brilliant defensively. And that's what I mean. Like, apart from I think he had one other chance, Edward. I think I'm clutching at straws there, but we're not creating much either, which is a concern. So we got a lot of work to do.
We've had a month to
Tristan,
prepare for this game. That's the annoying thing.
Yeah. But this is where I was always worried. Like, match fitness is so much different to just training. You know, like, and knowing us, like, we always need a couple of games to get into rhythm and stride and stuff. That Newcastle draw, as much as we didn't play very well, it was a very good point, and then we didn't play for a month. You know, it's just frustrating. So, plus, obviously, once again, hindsight's a beautiful thing. We would have been playing Chelsea with Man United and Brighton. We should have played. Probably could have, I don't know, picked up a few points or there too. But at least we would have been match fit, and we would have, I think, would have been better match fitness shape for this game. And it's literally like we've had pre-season all over again, and we have to kind of now start again, which is frustrating. But yeah,
good point.
Tristan Lives, how you doing, mate? You can finally. We can hear you now. You good?
Things bugging out. Yeah, I'm good. I've gotten over the defeat. Like I said, I mean, it's one of them games that we matched Chelsea, I thought, and we're coming away with defeat, conceding another late goal. You know, there was a brilliant goal from Gallagher, and fair play to him for not celebrating, but it just really hurt. The fact it was him who scored against us and the way the result turned out. And it was another game that we were leading in as well. You know, we led at Liverpool, we drew. We led at Man City, we drew. Led against Brentford, and we drew. Do you know what I mean? And we led today, and we were just, I don't know, I felt like our final third at times, especially after we got 1-0 up, just naive and sort of just we're lacking in some areas and that on the pitch, and that just shows what happens when you don't strengthen your squad in the summer, when you don't sign Gallagher on deadline day, where you don't put the bid up for him. Do you know what I mean? And he bloody goes and scores against us. You know, out of all players, just a killer, man. And it just sums up where we are as a club compared to Chelsea and any other team in the Premier League. I'm really worried. If you want me to be honest, I'm really worried because we like you lot were saying a minute ago, we weren't really creating much. Defensively, we're awful. Defending set pieces, we look it's shambolic defending, and our squad is thin on ice, and that may put us in the bin between now and the end of the year potentially. So I'm really concerned. Very.
Yeah, Chris Blitz Montana. It's literally what we were saying after the game. It had to be him. But just
don't fall in
great
love with a
point.
lone player. Remember, I said it a number of times. I said, don't fall in love with a lone player.
Yeah.
Not to
Just a
mention,
great point. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah.
not to mention, remember, Loftus-Cheek came back today.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with him. And what happened at the semi-final in April? Who scored against us? Loftus-Cheek. So that should have been a warning sign. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're not. Guess you're right, I suppose. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah. Tristan, you made a good point though regarding the recruitment, man. And today shows it. Like we are we're way for FIFA, you know, and
we're terrible. Yeah.
Like the next 5 games are actually winnable. But JC, like when I speak to JC after the game, he's just like, yeah, but our squad's thin. Like, have we had everyone available? Yes, we could get 5 out of 5 from those, but we just need to make sure we get something. It's getting that bad, that desperate now because we're just so thin on the ground and stuff. Big up, Henry. Sorry I had to dash off earlier. And stuff.
Right.
Your fan cam is on its way uploading. Everyone's having
it's already up.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's a tough one today, but I still think there's enough positives to take from it. And I don't think, you know, it's disappointing. And yeah, we don't have great squad depth, but I do think we can still get a result against Leeds. And I don't want to be too.
We need a result against them.
We need. Can I say something? I'll say something there. If we're losing, if we're not playing well against Leeds, and if we lost that game, the wheels would come off at Palace. I generally think that's what would happen next weekend. Because it's a game against a team like Leeds, the teams around us, we need to be getting the points. And if we're not doing that, if we're losing and not winning, we got problems and we'll end up in a relegation fight. I'm generally serious. I'm not joking at all. I'm worried. I'm that concerned.
We're only 7 games. Is it 7? Yeah, 7 games into the season. And it only takes.
Plus, we've got 2 games in hand on a lot of teams around us because we weren't playing because of the rail strike or the rail strike, as they want to call it. And then obviously the Queen's passing. So we do granted, one of those fixtures is against Man United, but now having to play them, taking the sting out of them just on the run they're going because they lose in the derby. I think the derby's tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're not facing the brunt of them going hammer and tongue. We got to play Brighton. That's going to be an emotionally charged game. Obviously, so we'll never know. But look, our next 7, we can get points from these because it's Leeds at home, Leicester away, Wolves at home, Everton away, Southampton at home, West Ham away, and Forest away before the World Cup break. Now, obviously, the only one there that I'm somewhat scared of is Leeds because Leeds look pretty decent. But having said that, we know what we can do. When we don't expect anything, we turn it on. I thought we were going to get slapped by Villa. We did the slapping ourselves. So, look, I get what Tristan's saying. He's dead right. There's a part of me that's kind of a bit worried now because our lack of forward planning for getting a left back, getting a centre back, getting a right back, a centre mid is bitting us on the arse because there was too much twerking for Gallagher. And look what happened today. He had no interest in coming back, and he proved that today. So all this twerking for Gallagher, look, I get it. He was great for us last season. But what have we learned from loaning players from Chelsea? Every time we loan them, they don't want to come back.
I feel like if you've been a Palace fan long enough, you just knew that was going to happen as soon as he came on the pitch. Right, it just always happens. Our former players always score against us. Most of them do anyway.
Well, look at Glenn Murray, for example.
Murray, exactly. Prime example.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but to be fair, with Glenn Murray, we kind of knew we'd seen the other side of that. So we just knew it was going to happen whether we liked it or not. And as it turned out, when he did score against us the first time, we won the game. So it wasn't really that big a deal.
Yeah, it still hurt that a little bit. It always hurts.
I mean, look, to be fair, we didn't pay money to take him off them, so they had to pay money to get him back. We got him off them for free.
That's true. We technically made a profit.
Plus, we've always got the first game at the Amex where we were the first team to beat them in the league. Just saying.
Yeah, we actually were. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
I mean, you know, it's the Nathaniel Klein's injury does worry me, and our form at the moment does worry me. So because
it's really poor.
The next, like, I mean, I'm sure I haven't been listening because I've only just got home recently, but I'm sure you've been saying that, you know, the next 7 games are really, really big, and we need to get at least 2 wins and a draw, maybe, but 3 wins ideally. We need. I mean, Forest away, we should be beating them. Leeds at home, and that's 6 points.
I'm telling you right now, if we don't beat Leicester, I'm gonna be worried because we're going to that game.
Massive game. That could be a massive game, you know, between both sides as it stands. I won't lie to you.
Be the first team to lose to Leicester. If that happens, that'll be just so annoying.
Yeah. Henry, just before we do like a player ratings and everyone just have it early now, because I think just frustrations are there. Hadith, what's your thoughts on Potter as the Chelsea fan? I've seen a couple of games.
I've been a fan for the past couple of years. I'm really impressed. I've been saying it a long time that he's got a handful of players that I think are better than are ready for the top 6, top 7 teams. Trossard, I mentioned 2 years ago. What's his name, the Nigerian Englishman, and he said he doesn't rate him. He's got a hat-trick today, so I'm doing something right. Potter, listen, look, I think we'll have to wait and see, but I think we're kind of following a similar example to what Arsenal have done. We've given an up-and-coming coach a big opportunity to come on, cement his football, and I'm hoping that it'll work for him. I think this season we ease him into the role, and next season we judge him. But the season is still open. There'll be many twists and turns, and I think ultimately, if Potter can compete for that top 4, and then we'll just have to see where we are in the cups, then I think we'll take that. All I want to see is from any manager at Chelsea is when we play at home. And if it's apart from Man City and Liverpool, anybody else, we should be playing attacking football. I want to see entertaining football at Stamford Bridge. That was my biggest issue with Thomas Tuchel. I said it week in, week out. The guy plays crap football at home when we are the main. All right, bro. Dexter, calm down. Relax. Let me finish. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day...
I can see that coming.
It's not that deep.
No, I think that's
what I'm saying is, Henry, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. You know what it is, Henry? You know when I hear Thomas Tuchel's name, you don't understand. The football was dead, bro. Honestly, you could play better football than him.
What you say? Come on.
His football is dead, and ultimately, look, I understand he's a cup manager at best, but I predicted us not to finish in the top 4 if Thomas Tuchel would have stayed. We would not have finished in the top 4 if he would have stayed at Chelsea. And I understand what I think. Todd Bowley wanted a reason to kick him out. So for me, I think I'm excited, but I think we do need to give him the time and the patience. And I think he's got a 6-year deal. He's got a very long contract, and he's on big money.
Jesus. 6 years.
So we'll have to wait and see. Yeah.
Hanif, I'm going to say one thing to you. Thomas Tuchel is not as bad as Frank de Boer. There's levels to how dead you can be. Right? Right.
And just before we let you go, because we're going to do the player ratings and wrap up ourselves, who was the man of the match for Chelsea?
The referee, right?
Well,
I think Havertz played well. I think Havertz was all right today. Yeah.
What about Thiago?
Who should I give it to? I'll listen, look, the guy scored the winner, and I'll give it to Conor Gallagher, just to annoy you, all you lot.
Mm.
Bacon. He ain't gonna promote this thing. How does he say? Nah, you divide it. Yeah, let's wrap up with player ratings because boy,
that was
right,
something else.
I'm gonna go across as I can see everyone on the screen. So Nate, VG.
I mean, apart from the 2 goals, he had no chance with Gallagher's goal. I heard he had a fairly okay game, not great, not terrible. 6.5, but I'll say 6.
His kicking was terrible.
Yeah, it was diabolical. His distribution is foul. That's all I can say. He needs to work on that big time.
He shanked it 3 times in the first half.
Guys,
have you seen the back? Sorry, have you seen the back part?
You got to remember. It doesn't matter how much money we spend on goalkeepers. We've never got that position right. The one time we did was when we signed Speroni back in 2004. So, you know what I mean?
Can I say something? There was a back pass. You got saw the back pass, didn't you?
Oh my god, it was right in front of me.
Yeah, I can imagine. I was just when that happened, I was like, "Oh, we're just blowing it." And when they hit the sign net, and I was so just gassed about it. I was just taunting the Chelsea supporters. It was beyond the joke. To be fair.
I think we'll speak about it when someone hits Ward.
I'll do Kleiny. He was having a fairly decent game up until the equaliser, obviously, because he got out jumped by Thiago Silva, which ain't really
not really his fault, I guess.
It's not his fault. It happens. It's just frustrating the man. It was just too easy. Standard 5, I guess. Standard 5.
Yeah.
JC, Ward.
Man's got to get a 1, surely. I've got no clue what he was thinking. VG was on his way to grab the ball and he thought, yes, the back pass. I'll do that. And then man got spun like a Beyblade by Aubameyang.
Oh my god.
Man said, let it rip. Man fell over. Man got that reverse 1-2 cha-cha slide.
Hey,
bruv, I don't know what he was doing, man.
You know what Warren was listening to in the changing room after the game? Man Don't Care by JME.
Aubameyang scored. Man don't care about all that. Do you see when he tried to hit a
back pass? Man don't care about all that.
And the thing that made it even better, I saw him trying to overlap when he went back to the right back. Man was blowing out his ass when he got up the pitch. I saw bubbles coming out of there and shit, bro. I don't know what was happening. One. That's it. No more awards.
Oh, good.
Henry, Gay.
I'd say 6. Because I don't think he had his best game. I think he kind of could have been more solid. Decision making at times wasn't great. I don't know. I don't feel he had a good enough game to give more than a 6, really. But from his usual standards. Yeah.
Where am I at? Tris, Mitch.
I'm gonna give him a 2. He was poor. His man marking on players, is staying with players while the opposition players were attacking towards him was awful. He just wasn't concentrating, he was getting outdone by Havertz a few times and that as well. You notice like a lot of Chelsea's players coming is always on his side down the left-hand side. That's like our weak spot sometimes, and opposition see that in us. And Mitchell, ever since that semi-final loss to Chelsea, he's just never been the same player. He's just not. No wonder Southgate never selected him for England over the international break. So he's been a bit disappointed recently. He had a poor game, not good enough. Simple right now.
At least Mitchell's not injured because that's what we do.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point.
Nate, the Corey.
I don't think he's put a foot wrong since he's been at the football club, to be honest.
He did one bad pass today.
Just one. That's all that.
Just
well,
one.
to be honest.
All right.
It happens. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look. Considering that he plays in the same position as Luka Milivojevic, who's famous for dropping clangers left, right, centre, backwards, forwards, sideways, you name it. If he gets one bad pass away, you can live with that. So I can't go any higher than 6 because if I go any higher than 6, I'm smoking bush. Nah, yeah, I'll go 6. Nobody's getting higher than a 6 here. Let's be real. Even 6 is probably generous with some of the man today.
Words.
I'll take Eze. I think his block was defensive and letting supporting Mitchell from time to time. He's just not found his shooting boots.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, he had a good attempt at the start of the game, but that's about it.
Yeah, but nothing really troubled. I mean, actually, tell a lie. The one straight after Edward scored, that was a good save from Kepa, to be fair.
Yeah, he could have made it 2-0. That might have been game over.
Once again, not effective, in my opinion. I'll go 5.
Yeah.
JC, Elise.
He's not an 8. Yeah, he's not an 8. I think that technically he's more than good enough to play wherever he wants. But he's not cut out for it. He does some nice little passes, but he did his best work when him and Ayew swapped positions, when Ayew fell into that midfield and Elise ran on. When he came in from the wing, he made Mason Mount look like he was dancing on ice. He was putting some good balls in the box and he was doing what Elise does. However, what he did before 75 minutes is a bit of a blur to me because I can't remember any of it. But he started to come into the game a bit more when the game went on a bit longer. But overall, he's played out of position. He's been asked to do something he probably doesn't like or hasn't been trained to do. You know, I'll give him a 5 probably.
Henry, Wilf.
I thought Wilf had a quiet one today. Didn't get into the he normally does. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good first half for like maybe half of it. But I don't really feel we saw enough of those runs that really caused panic. The defense.
Is that your cat?
Cat, what do you think, Henry's cat?
I was wondering what was purring. I didn't realise you were stroking your pussy.
Yeah, this is my cat.
Pause!
This is gonna go.
That setup was too easy. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
I give Wolf.
Sorry, have you gone?
Yeah, I'll give Wolf a 5 because I can't really give him more than that. He could have scored, but that chance he had, he could have done better.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to get it all, to be fair. Tris, A.
Ayew. So you said Ayew?
Yeah.
Ayew, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 7. I thought he played well. It was a good ball in from the Edward goal, brilliant. And his distribution, him trying to get the ball back, you know, and his track back in and man marker is pretty good. He was very good at holding up the ball. I think he was probably our best player on the pitch, I'll be honest with you. The game sort of suited him, to be fair. You know, I think he needs a few more. He could have had a few more attempts on goal himself, but him out wide on the right hand side, he did very well. You know, he was very hard to get the ball off and that. So yeah, credit to Jordan Ayew. Probably one of his best games this season, to be fair, in a while.
just quickly on that, Tris, would you have had him playing in the 8 role instead today?
Yeah, I would have had Elisa on the right and IU deep in the 8 role. I think that might have had a bit more of a impact within our performance in that in a positive way. But I still did well on the wing. But if he was in the number 8 role, I think that would suit him, and he'd vibe really well in that position. It'd be like his sort of prime position, to be fair, I should say. Yeah.
Man's playing FIFA.
That is embarrassing. That is embarrassing.
Oh, that is embarrassing.
I was wondering what you're doing. Nate, Edward.
Probably our best player, to be truthful.
How good is he on FIFA?
Better than in real life.
Oh no,
JC, you just worry about pointing in the right direction lately, yeah?
Yeah, I've got it down pat now. It's right there.
Wait. No, Edward. Yeah, I mean, look, he gets a lot of stick off the fan base because he's not as clinical as he should be. But today, he was in the right place at the right time. Put it top bins. 7, 8. Yeah, 8. Yeah, I'll go 8. Yeah, give him an 8.
And who are the subs? Oh my gosh, I can't remember.
Will Hughes.
Mateta, Slap.
That's it.
And Tompkins.
Tompkins for Klein, isn't it? Yeah.
Fours all round. I can't be asked.
Well, Tompkins did pretty well considering he hasn't played for about 6,000 years.
Yeah, but it says a lot that we're digging up James Tompkins to come off the bench.
Well, it says that
sums up our squad depth.
It does, yeah, it kind of does. But
Really,
I didn't think to be fair to him, like it wasn't his fault we conceded the second goal.
No, I'm not saying that, but it just says a lot that there's no alternatives to bringing in James Tompkins.
No, I agree with you. I agree.
It's just like we really couldn't have signed another centre back. Maybe put Killian Phillips as centre back if need be.
Well, I thought
different.
Chris Richards was
injured.
He's injured.
USA
was injured for today. Yeah, but yeah, it's a shame because I think he would have been good. But
obviously, you probably have all seen Steve Parish's tweet.
Which one? Which one? He's had loads.
It's mainly about like the incident where Thiago Silva tried to drag Jordan down and stuff. However, a Brighton fan's quote tweeted. This is interesting. He goes, "It's all fun and games laughing at Palace losing, but some of the VAR decisions against them this season is ridiculous. The Big Six bias and corruption reeks so much.
Yeah,
it's ruining
that's
the league."
Facts.
Coming from a Brighton fan,
that's
fair play.
Facts.
Fair play.
Can I say something? The way the Premier League has treated us over the last year has been an absolute joke. They do not give a damn about the fans, and they've got no respect for us as a club, and it's really peeing me off. I'm going to be honest and say that.
You think about it, though. You have to remember, though, Tristan, you have to remember, we've been one of the very vocal fan bases against a lot of the changes the Premier League have tried to bring in. So they're not really going to like it when people try to show dissent. They want people being compliant. That's why when Manchester United fans organise a protest, they still get a full stadium. If we organise a protest, you wouldn't see Selhurst Park full.
Why not?
It's not.
Because people will actually do it for the cause. There won't be tourists that just go anyway. Because we're actually a proper fan base.
Henry, look, put it this way: if we wanted, for example, to run a boycott to get Harrison Blitzer out, and it was organised by a whole group of different Palace fan groups, it would work. Because a lot of the fan base would say, you know what, yeah, we've seen nothing from these guys since they've been here. But clubs like Manchester United organise a protest, it's still 77,000 at Old Trafford. So
yeah, I don't really get what you're saying though, because Old Trafford's bigger than Selhurst Park. And
what I'm saying is, Henry, is that
affects the crowd.
No, listen, the Premier League don't like when fan bases are vocally against what they try to bring through. We're one of those clubs that are actively vocal against a lot of the things. Bear in mind, they tried to put us in trouble over the Newcastle banner.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
We put up banners about the Premier League TV money before. We put up banners about Chelsea's owners, Man City's owners. You name it, we've done it. We're not one of those clubs that just points out that, oh, we're happy to be in the Premier League. We're in the club. We're like, nah, this is corruption. This is this. This is that. They don't like that. So what I'm saying is that when we as a fan base want to make a change, we will actively make things happen. The bigger clubs can't be bothered to make things happen because they know they'll still get a full stadium. But if we said, right, we're not going to Selhurst Park until we get these owners out, it would happen. You'd get people saying, no, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense, actually.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, look at it in 2010. So many people went to the protest outside Lloyd's Bank.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Our fans pretty much saved the club.
They did.
You swear to God, we were playing in the city of London that day. It was the 1st of June.
It was amazing. You know.
But look,
you know,
another classic Palace game. 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and Palace failing out to see a game.
and also Palace conceding against 4 players and Palace conceding last minute.
Yeah, that's 5, not 3. Not to put a big jacket, Henry, but that's quick maths, mate. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, man.
Henry.
Big man thing, yeah. It's not looking good, Bev. It's not looking good.
Oh God, that should be. You know what you should do with that. Yeah, is every Palace fan right now after losing to Chelsea and where they are on the table, just put that meme up.
Big man thing, yeah. It's not looking good, Bev. It's not looking good.
There you go, Tristan.
I'm just saying.
You know,
This is the reality for us right now. Do you know what I mean?
That's just anytime somebody takes an L on this channel, that's going to be replayed. Put it that way.
Our points tally does not reflect our performances this season. I don't think.
It kind of does, though, to be fair, because we're not seeing these games out. 2-0 away at Man City.
But take for example. So after 3 games, I think we were all relatively happy after the game. And then, obviously, we beat Oxford in the cup. That was good. But then the City was ridiculous because we had a 3rd goal stupidly disallowed.
Oh yeah, that should have been a goal. That I remember.
Okay for Haaland to scissor kick someone and remain on the pitch. So I'm sorry, but you're not to beat Man City.
Haaland's high foot.
Yeah, the high foot.
He didn't scissor kick him. He tried to touch the ball. It just happened to be Anderson was there as well. It's a bit of a dodgy one, but it's not a red. I don't think.
It was unbelievable. I mean, if that's Wilfred Zaha, he probably gets sent off. And you know, the Brentford game, okay, that one was on us. We weren't good enough. What else is there? Liverpool away, unlucky. Only drew because of a wonder goal. Yeah,
but they were down to 10 men, mate. That's all I'd say. And we had the extra man, and we still drew, and we had a chance to win it. I'm just saying, isn't it? Like, we should have really won it overall.
Maybe we could have won it, but bad result to go to Anfield and get a point.
Yeah, it's all right. It's decent.
You know, the Newcastle game, we were lucky to get anything from that, as far as I could see.
Yeah.
And Brentford, what games am I missing? Today was unlucky. I thought the point would have been a fair result. And, I think I've named all the games now. So I think that's just... I mean, we got 6 points out of 7 games. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. And we've got winnable games coming up.
Yeah.
We just focus on them. Even though our squad depth isn't great, all we can do is look forward.
%100.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be talking a bit more upbeat when before the World Cup starts, because it would be awful to go into the World Cup with, continuing this bad run of form that we're currently on.
Well, look, if it weren't bad supporting Palace, it's going to be even worse supporting England if Gareth Southgate's still the manager. So
at least we don't have Harry Maguire at the back.
Well, with England, they do. So I might have to change. I might actually support Ghana, actually. At least that way I know I won't have to watch Harry Maguire defend.
Yeah. Come on, Ghana.
Right, people. That was the Chelsea match reaction, despite a number of different avenues that it went down. We're eagle-eyed football, but before we go, we'll give Tristan and Henry a chance to shout themselves out, and then we're going to cut and head off.
Tristan, you want to start?
Yeah, yo, make sure to go and subscribe to my channel, Road to 2K, under 100 subs away from reaching 2K subscribers on my channel, Tristan03. Vlog will be out in the next 10 minutes as well for the Chelsea match. Be interesting one on that. So, yeah, love the support. Up the Palace.
Just quickly, Tristan, you there, Leicester?
Yeah, I'm going Leicester. Yeah, I'm going Leicester. Yeah, I'm going.
All right, cool. So Henry,
yeah, that's fine.
So, my YouTube channel is pretty dead, and I never really upload much more. So if you fancy subscribing, it's just Henry Billum. That's what it's called, I think, the channel name. So, you know, I'm not great at self-promoting, as we've seen before. So, yeah, I don't really have much more to say than that.
Sweet, thank you very much. I think it's time to wrap it. So, from us, Eagle-Eyed Football, thank you very much. This is the match reaction for Chelsea 2, Crystal Palace 1, and we are out. Up the Dexter.
Questions to ask throughout a campaign with the confidence rising. I told JC, Nate and Rich that good times are coming, no need for deep diving. Fan cams, reactions, watch along to the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South stay flying. Keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.